Coming up on City Span, Project DeRenne takes to the streets and why some residents are concerned. Cracking down on illegal yard parking, turning blight to bright. Preparing for water-related emergencies, Savannah's Fire is standing by. And public safety in numbers, Operation Thunder rolls into town. Stay tuned, City Span starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Margaret Williams. Welcome to City Span, your source for news and information about Savannah City Government. City engagement has been key to the success of several large-scale projects in Savannah over the last several years, and Project DeRenne, which includes plans for a boulevard that will take southbound traffic off of DeRenne and onto White Bluff Road, is no exception. That's why local, state, and federal officials were on hand in early May to meet with residents of Poplar Place, the neighborhood most affected by the planned roadway. But it was more than just a meeting. It was an opportunity to show residents just where the roadway will run and how their properties might be impacted, and an opportunity to explain the rules affecting government buyouts and allay fears of some homeowners who worry that they might be left stranded. City Span's Jody Jenkins has more.
It was street-level democracy in action. An alderman and the residents of the district she represents meeting face-to-face with state, local, and federal transportation officials to air concerns about the DeRenne project. It's a $70 million plan to unclog congestion that has plagued the DeRenne corridor for years. 50,000 cars pack a road designed to carry half that, and the project diverts traffic from DeRenne into White Bluff Road with a bypass, cutting straight through Poplar Place. Some homes are slated for buyouts. Others have been designated as potentially historically significant, which takes them out of consideration for demolition. And that's the rub. Some residents fear they'll be left holding the bag when the road cuts through, leaving their homes and their lives less attractive.
The residents of Poplar Place have been dealing with this situation now for over 20 years. And we say enough is enough. And it's time to get moving on this project. Our number one concern is that the city will stand with us in our concerns about property buyouts and about the neighbors on Hampstead Avenue moving on with their lives.
The meeting went off without a hitch, and it seemed that some of the residents' frustration eased simply by seeing a semblance of the physical reality of the roadway and getting to have their say.
That's a good question.
The importance about what's going on today is that the people who live in this community, who will be impacted greatly, they are here and able to talk with the professionals, talk with our representatives, from our local representatives, from our state representatives, and those folks who we send to Washington. Our city staff has laid out diagrams so the people can actually see, not just on a PowerPoint, in which we've been seeing all along, not just at a charrette, but actually on the ground. That is the importance of today.
The next step? Compile the comments of the residents and coordinate with the agencies and consultants and plan a follow-up public meeting to address citizens' concerns. Reporting for City Span, I'm Jody Jenkins.
After a growing number of complaints, the city is again cracking down on illegal yard parking. It's part of an effort to improve the appearance of neighborhoods and to reduce blight in residential areas. Inspectors are cruising the streets, informing citizens and issuing tickets when they have to. City Span's Jody Jenkins has more.
Stephanie Nelson sees it all on her rounds as property maintenance inspector for the city of Savannah. From derelict vehicles left to decay in yards to blighted and abandoned properties. But she tends to think that people do their best when they can. And she sees it as her job to help them understand the city's policies when it comes to property maintenance infractions.
A lot of them are not aware, they're not educated on it, or they choose to ignore. I don't think they just purposely break the law.
And in May, the city began a concerted effort to inform citizens just what the yard parking ordinance is and how they can abide by it. The purpose is to educate. But they cited violations as well. Property inspectors fanned out in neighborhoods, telling residents how to park in non-designated parking and fining them when necessary. Cars are allowed to park within 5 feet and parallel to a designated drive. But anything else is asking for trouble, and the fine is $25.
Second time. Yeah, they actually move these cars, and that now, years ago, just turn it around, so when they come by, they say, oh, somebody using it, and put it right back in the same spot, they say it's okay. And that's what I don't understand. You got tags, you're paying your tax, paying your road tax. What they should be doing is getting out here and trying to fix some of these roads and messing up people in front of you.
Nelson said that most violators are repeaters, those who continue to ignore city ordinances for one reason or another.
A lot of the problems or issues that we do run across is that a lot of the homeowners are saying that it is my property, I've been parking like this for years. We can issue citations for parking on the sidewalk, illegal yard parking, and parking on the wrong side of the street. We can also issue citations for semis parking in residential neighborhoods, which are prohibited due to the weight load. Also, they're not, the streets are not made to carry that capacity. Plus, it's a nuisance to your neighbors when they have to come in and listen to those trucks making that loud noise in the mornings and the afternoons, and they crack the city streets.
City officials are hoping the new emphasis on yard parking will help change old habits. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
The emphasis on illegal yard parking is just one part of the city's larger anti-blight campaign called Blight to Bright. We're asking the public's help in creating a new 100 worst properties list as part of the campaign. It's a list of the worst blighted properties in Savannah and will receive priority attention and tracking. The list, as well as enforcement actions, will be displayed on the city's website, savannahga.gov. For the upcoming list, half of the 100 worst properties will come from property maintenance staff. The other half will come from you, the public. Citizens can call 311 or go to www.savannahga.gov/blight and provide an address, property condition description, and even attach a photo. City property maintenance inspectors will visit the property and decide whether it makes the list. As part of Blight to Bright, we'll be regularly asking for your help. We're also launching an aggressive public education campaign on factors that contribute to blight, including derelict vehicles and overgrown lots. Citizens can report blight by calling 311 or by using the 311 form found on the city's website. Savannah's marshes and rivers provide scores of recreational opportunities for residents and visitors alike. And with the arrival of summer, safety in and around the water takes on a new importance. That's why Savannah Fire and Emergency Services is standing by with dozens of divers and highly trained rescue personnel for when an emergency call comes in.
To do this, you need a lot of this. Because practice makes perfect, and lives could depend on it. And Savannah Fire rescue teams were getting a lot of practice in May because they're the first line of defense when it comes to water rescues in the Savannah area. And the training is rigorous. Several area firemen were brushing up recently in exercises at the Aquatic Center in Savannah. Everything from water carries to pulling victims into life rafts to diving off helicopters and boats.
Now we have about almost 60 personnel that are trained in swiftwater surf rescue, as we train part of this at Tybee in the ocean. And we have between 50 and 60 public safety divers. So they're actually trained to step out of the helicopter, step out of a boat, go into the water up to 60 feet deep. Some are trained to go deeper and try to make a viable rescue.
And as if to drive the seriousness of the task home, the training session was interrupted by a call of a car overturned in a ditch, with a victim trapped underwater. After the Aquatic Center, the trainees took it out into the real world, into the waters off Tybee Island. Rescue personnel have to learn to operate in all types of situations, from boating accidents to ships gone down at sea with crews that have been adrift in dinghies for days. Confronting these potentially real scenarios helps the firemen hone their skills in coping with the range of rapidly changing and dangerous situations. It's all a part of the effort of being prepared for that incident that could come at any moment, when their training could mean the difference between life and death. Captain Michael Dick of Savannah Fire Rescue sums it up.
We have a better chance of getting them out of the water than you do a house fire. And personally, I want my loved one brought up in the arms of a diver, not on a hook.
Making the chances of that happening are what the training is all about. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Coming up on CitySpan, remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And later, tips to help you get the most from your vacation budget. It's an impressive show of police force, borrowing manpower from other Georgia police agencies and aimed at cracking down on the number of drivers killed on Savannah area highways. It's called Operation Thunder, and the last time it was used in Savannah was in 2007. But after a spike in fatalities on our roads last year, Interim Police Chief Julie Talbert decided to take action. These additional officers will operate random roadblocks to slow motorists down and spot drunk drivers. They'll also provide backup in certain targeted areas to reduce crime. CitySpan's Michelle Gavin reports.
On May 30th, Operation Thunder rolled into town. Police cars caravan down I-16 with lights flashing. This show of force is aimed at helping our community reduce the number of traffic-related deaths and crashes. Operation Thunder is a task force developed by the Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The Savannah Chatham Metropolitan Police Department is providing Operation Thunder organizers with stats so they can target high-traffic corridors. For Police Chief Julie Talbert, the biggest concern is reducing the number of deadly wrecks. There's been nearly a dozen so far this year.
First of all, we want to make sure that our fatalities going into the 2014 year is not near as many as we had in 2013. We cleared the year with about 38 last year, and we definitely do not want to see that occur again this year. We want those numbers to be much, much lower.
To do that, Operation Thunder cracks down on dangerous drivers by setting up road checkpoints and conducting speed patrols. They also hope their presence makes people think twice before drinking and driving or being careless behind the wheel. Dozens of law enforcement officers from police departments, sheriff's offices, and other law enforcement agencies throughout the state are going to be in Savannah and Chatham County all summer long, not just focusing on traffic enforcement, but also keeping our community safe.
Absolutely. We're not going to just use this opportunity with Operation Thunder for vehicle assist. We're going to use them for road checks and a number of other areas within the city that's having crime problems, that's plagued by crime issues, and they've agreed to assist us.
Operation Thunder has been successful in many other cities across the state, and they have the stats to back that up, making the roadway safer and putting dangerous drivers and wanted felons behind bars. For CitySpan, I'm Michelle Gavin.
In other public safety news, it's a solemn occasion, a day set aside for local law enforcement officers and the families to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Michelle Gavin has more.
51 red roses, representing the 51 officers from Savannah and Chatham County who have been killed in the line of duty. The names date back more than a century.
1881, Habersham W. Harvey.
As each name was read, officers placed a rose at the base of the statue and saluted a hero they never knew, but vowed to never forget.
And although some details of their lives might be lost to the ages, there are some things we know. We know they did not choose this profession of law enforcement for money or fame or power. They likely chose it out of a calling, out of a belief they held deep down inside that they should leave this world a better place, a safer place, a more just place than they found it.
Many family members of the fallen officers attend this memorial service every year. And for the officers, it's a reminder of how dangerous their job can be.
No greater sacrifice than for a man or woman to lay down his or her life for that of another, and especially for that of a stranger.
The hope for everyone on this day, that no more names are added to this sacred memorial. For CitySpan, I'm Michelle Gavin.
From the Savannah Bells Ferry to the DOT Downtown Shuttle to environmentally friendly hybrid buses, Chatham Area Transit, or CAT, is an important piece of Savannah's transportation plan, providing a variety of options for residents and tourists. CAT's Patricia Hawkins has more.
Hi, I'm Patricia Hawkins with your monthly CAT update. We're all buzzing with excitement at Chatham Area Transit. This month, we'll be showing off our new and improved operations and maintenance facility located at 900 East Gwinnett Street. On Thursday, June 12th from 4 to 6 p.m., we're hosting an open house. So feel free to drop by and take a tour of our new renovated facility. We have a lot to show you. On June 19th, we'll dump the pump as Chatham Area Transit joins other transit agencies across the country in promoting alternatives to filling up your car. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to try public transit, ride a bicycle, or even share in a carpool. Not only can you save money by avoiding those high gas prices, but you'll help our environment too by cutting down on emissions. So don't forget to dump the pump on June 19th. And finally, we want to remind parents of school-age children 17 and under to purchase a summer youth pass. Don't worry about driving your kids all over Savannah this summer. With the $40 pass that's good through August 31st, they can travel on any of CAT's fixed route buses. With the summer youth pass, they'll develop some independence and you'll enjoy a little peace of mind. You can get more information about all of CAT's programs, services, and special events by logging on to our website at catchacat.org. Until next time, I'm Patricia Hawkins, and as always, thank you for catching a cat.
Each month on CitySpan, we team up with the folks at Banco in Savannah, an initiative of Step Up Savannah, to provide you with easy tips to help you make the most of your money. With more, here's Richard Reed from Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Savannah.
Can you believe summertime is here? We all know vacations can be expensive, from costly flights to overpriced hotel rooms. Those travel memories can often be far from priceless. Keep these tips in mind to make the most of your vacation travel budget. To find cheaper flights, look for those with a lot of available seats. Booking well in advance is usually your best bet. A study by farecompare.com claims that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays are when airlines post discount prices. Thinking about renting a car? Book the cheapest and most comfortable rental car you can. If it turns out they run out of economy cars, it doesn't hurt to ask for a free upgrade. There are lots of online tools to help you map out your trip. You can use a free phone app to help you find the cheapest gas along the way. Online travel websites are also a good place to find deals on hotels. Certain sites will even refund the difference if the price goes down after you book. Make sure you contact the hotel directly to see which offers the best deal. When visiting another city, you'll want to explore local restaurants. Did you know that lunch prices are often 30% cheaper than the same entrees on a dinner menu? To save money on meals, plan to chow down by day and opt for a budget dinner. Also, check out sites like Groupon or Living Social to receive discounts of 50% or more on restaurants or activities at your destination. Be sure to check out underrated destinations. Try up-and-coming cities for some of the best deals. Big cities like New York, San Francisco, and London are always popular, but there are other great places that will offer you more bang for your buck. Staycations are always a fun option. There's a reason tourists flock to Savannah. Take time to explore our city and you can save big on travel costs. Lastly, if you and your family like to get souvenirs, make sure to budget for them. Limit each family member to one memento each to keep the price down. Summer traveling is a time to relax and forget about the pressures of day-to-day life. Careful upfront planning can keep your vacation from busting your budget. So get out and enjoy yourself. Until next month, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Still to come on City Span, how a love of bees blossomed into a successful business. And later, how residents in the Victorian neighborhoods are growing green. Welcome back to City Span. I'm Margaret Williams. The Small Business Assistance Corporation provides business loans, counseling, training, and more to small business owners in Savannah and the Low Country. Each month on City Span, we highlight a local business that has benefited from those services. SBAC's Leandria Michael has more.
While many of us try to steer clear of flying wonders of nature, bees in particular, Ted Dennard follows them, as he has been doing since the age of 12. That's when he was introduced to the amazing life of bees. Years later, the Savannah Bee Company was started out of his kitchen. Now Savannah Bee Company operates out of a 40,000 square foot warehouse and multiple retail locations. As his passion was blossoming into a business, Ted visited the Small Business Resource Center. Here's his story.
The Savannah Bee Company really started when this old man, Roy Hightower, put honeybees on our property when I was about 13 years old, and I would work with him on the weekends and just fell in love with honeybees and honey and beekeeping. And then I had a landlord in college that had bees, and I joined the Peace Corps, and they wanted me to teach beekeeping in Jamaica, which I did for 2 years. And then I ended up in Savannah, fall in love with this town, and ended up, I had 5 beehives. I was working 4 jobs and started selling some jars of honey to a store here in town. And then another store saw the honey jars there and they wanted to sell them. And then another store, and then another store, and it started to slowly grow. And then in 2002, I started it officially as a business and printed a price sheet and went to Atlanta to this gift mart and set up a booth and started wholesaling my products. And that was 12 years ago, and here we are. It's come a long way. Back then it was me in the kitchen, and now there's 65 people working for Savannah Bee Company, and we have 4 retail stores, a website, and we wholesale to about 1,500 customers all over the world, all over the country, and a little bit around the world. In the very beginning, I had no real business understanding or knowledge or experience because I was a philosophy major. And I was working with Lynn Voss at the SBDC, and across the hall is the SBAC. And so I was learning about just finances and everything and having to really bootstrap the business. And so I needed cash all the time because as your business grows, it just consumes and consumes, no matter if you're making a profit. And so so we walked across the hall, and there's been at least 2 or 3 different times that the SBAC has helped give us a loan. One was for this retail store that helped us to open this in 2008. which I know was a bad year for retail, but we thought it was great, and so we've opened 3 more since then. And they helped us buy a 40,000 square foot building on Wilmington Island where we have all of our offices. It's where we bottle all of our honey and just, you know, ship and receive stuff all over. This honey is made on where the tupelo trees grow from the nectar of those flowers. And so this is made up in the mountains in Montana, actually. So these little tiny wildflowers. Even if you have a passion for what you're doing in business, you're still going to need cash flow and some help, and the SBAC is a great resource. We had some really low interest loans with them, and they've been able to help guarantee some loans that other banks will then be more willing to help us. So it's been really a lifesaver for us and helped us to grow.
Savannah Bee has been featured locally and nationally, bringing some extra buzz to our city. If you're interested in a small business loan, the SBAC is where you need to be. Visit the Small Business Resource Center at 111 East Liberty Street or check us out online at sbacsav.com. Ted turned his passion into sweet success. You can too. Reporting for the Small Business Assistance Corporation, I'm Leandra Michael.
This is the official ribbon cutting of the Victorian Community Garden. 1, 2, 3.
Yay! On June 6th, the Victorian Neighborhood Association celebrated a ribbon cutting for the Victorian Community Garden located at 1110 Habersham Street. It's the 5th such garden created in cooperation with the city's Community Garden Initiative, a program that works with citizens to transform vacant, city-owned properties into contributing sources of fresh produce and neighborhood gathering places.
It is wonderful to use vacant lots in this manner across this community.
This city-owned lot has been transformed into what you see today. Initially, the garden began as a beautification project, but it has developed into much more. It has brought residents, neighbors, families, businesses together, all working for a common cause. We have had neighbors meeting neighbors, friends being developed, and even professional networking, all because of the garden.
You can get more information about starting a community garden or getting involved in an existing garden by visiting the city's website at savannahga.gov.
Absolutely.
And finally, on CitySpan, the rotunda of Savannah's historic City Hall has a new look thanks to a city-sponsored art contest for local high school and college students.
We really got a lovely assortment of techniques and methods and variety of perspective these students have of what makes Savannah special and beautiful and historic. So these pieces are going to be featured in the rotunda, the 3rd and 4th floor rotundas of City Hall. They're going to be permanent exhibits on display for both our visitors and citizens to view when they come in City Hall.
The inspiration for the contest was Mayor Jackson's desire to have more local artwork featured in City Hall, and a donation by a SCAD student of a watercolor rendering of City Hall. It also meets the mayor and council's desire to support local youth.
Today is our opportunity to say thank you to all of you and recognize your contributions to these efforts and to show off all the beautiful new artwork in our building.
In May, participants in the Student Art Contest competition were recognized at an award ceremony held in council chambers. Mayor Jackson summed up the importance of the competition and the reason for honoring the students.
In this building, it is most important that people that are coming in and taking tours, that they are able to see Savannah and how Savannah is viewed by the residents. But most importantly, it's how it is viewed by the students in our community. But what this does, it makes you famous because you are one of us. You're ours. You're our children, our young people.
In addition to the high school and college student works, Spraker worked with the Department of Cultural Affairs to do 2 large-scale murals. One is a tile mural created by students in the City of Savannah's Moses Jackson Advancement Center's after-school program. The other is a large canvas painting mural done by participants in last summer's art camp. Both murals are on permanent display in the River Street entrance to City Hall. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of City Span. Don't forget, for the latest news and information about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV. Visit our website, savannahga.gov, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, I'm Margaret Williams. Thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.